here in the Lorraine Hotel, where the National Civil Rights Museum is located, where the community of Memphis has gathered to celebrate the life and legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
Things about Memphis is that we're the second most philanthropic city in the United States. And so there is this, within the city, there's this drive to do good. So some of our partners have a promotional thing this weekend where all the different nonprofits come together and people can volunteer online to do different projects. And so it's everything from cleaning up different neighborhoods or helping other nonprofits with their work on this particular day. And it's really started throughout the weekend. Now here, what we've done at the National Civil Rights Museum is we partner with the Mid-South Food Bank. And so visitors got, if they donated a canned good or non-perishable good, they would get $2 off a future visit. Or if they donated blood, they would get expedited to the front of the line. And then they would donate, they would receive up to 4 passes for a future visit to the museum. So it was a great way to allow people to come onto the campus, but feeling really connected to everything. The National Civil Rights Museum, we are located in the historic Lorraine Motel. And so we are, our balcony, room 306, is where Dr. King was assassinated. So for many people on Dr. King's birthday, this is a way to pay respect to him. Because of a FedEx donation to the museum, we are getting free admission for all of our visitors today. And so that really brings people out, and it brought out a lot of families because there's not many places you can take a family of 4 today that's free. That's educational, that you know is going to affirm values of being a good citizen and participating in society and creating social change. And we do that on all levels. You know, ultimately, when I think of the legacy of Dr. King, I look at his life post-1963. Everybody thinks of the I Have a Dream speech, but the reality is they only focus on the last half of the I Have a Dream speech. But if we move forward and we look at 1965 with the Voting Rights Campaign, if we look at 67, where he boldly is stating that being poor isn't a crime, it's a result of systematic injustice. Being hungry isn't a crime, it's a result of systematic injustice, and that we have to radically reimagine how we deal with that. I think that's the thing that, for me, is the most impactful, because it is a tangible issue. It demonstrates that there is a need for addressing economic inequity. There's a need to ensure that people receive a living wage, so that if you're working 40 hours a week, there should be no reason that you're not paid enough that you can sustain yourself and your family. And I think that we have enough resources, especially in the United States, to make those things possible. We just have to rethink how we do that and change our perception of the poor, the hungry, the homeless. It's not a crime to be in either of these states, and at some point a lot of people will find themselves in that. The crime is not addressing these social wrongs that create and perpetuate these states for many people. You know, I think a lot of people, when they think of the next generation, they tend to look down on either millennials or now Gen Zers. And it's funny because it's a stereotype that we've perpetuated over generations, right? So when baby boomers were young and they were the hippies and there was the summer of love, everybody's like, they're not about anything. They just want to make the world better, right? Then you see Gen Xers, well, they don't care enough. It's this thing that happens generationally. We have to start flipping our perspective. The students I've encountered, the people I've encountered, they really do care about the world right now in a very meaningful way. And they have drawn hope and inspiration from civil rights activists. My hope is that they look at Dr. King's legacy and they become the generation that says, you know what, the dream was nice, but there is more to Dr. King than the dream. Let's address the systematic injustices. Let's talk about nonviolence from a disarmament perspective. Let's talk about banning nuclear weapons. Let's talk about correcting the international inequities that put certain countries in perpetual state of poverty. Let's talk about women's rights and how being a woman in some countries is criminal in and of itself. And there's nothing wrong with that. right? Let's talk about educating girls. Let's talk about human rights. Let's talk about the environmental justice that's creating hunger and poverty for indigenous communities and those communities who rely on the earth in a very empowering way, but there are those of us who are not doing the work and we need to do to sustain it. I think we see that energy with them. I think they draw hope from the previous generation of activists, and I hope they can see Dr. King as a shining light for that. My hope is in the future that they become the folks who step forward and do this in a new way, in a powerful way. And I think if we look at what they are doing on so many different social justice issues, they're really making a tremendous impact.
Reporting from Memphis, Tennessee, I am Elmarie Gonzalez, Eagle News, 1 with 25.